bit later than normal. Played Monday night. The game ended Tuesday. I think we left locker room Tuesday morning. And just looking around the locker room at our players, as our staff, felt like there was a kind of sadness about the way the season ended. There was kind of a shell-shock feeling that was going on. And I think what we do a good job of is kind of communicating, figuring out the reasons for things, how we can get better. And so we gave everyone Tuesday off. And then Coach and I and our coaches met with all our players. We had exit interviews. That lasted for a couple of days. Obviously, the snowstorm on Friday. So a lot of people were out of the office. The office was closed. And then we went into the weekend and, like we do, try to figure out a plan to get better. So I apologize for kind of the delay, and we're here now.
Nick, can you walk us through the decision to remove Brian Johnson as your offensive coordinator? And did you talk to Jalen considering their relationship when you made that decision?
Sure. Yeah. We evaluated our season at the end of the year. Obviously, are going to be in constant evaluation of this. We did what we thought was best at that time, at the time, and I can't say enough good things about Brian though. He's a great football coach, and he's going to have another opportunity to lead an offense, and I will miss him. Some of the things that we want to do as a team is, grow in a lot of different areas, grow in, some of the guys that have been in here with me have been there with me for a while. So it's about coming up with fresh ideas and doing some things different. And that's exactly where we are right now. And sometimes, Brian being, at that position, unfortunately, he's the one that is leaving at this particular time. But I can't tell you how much I appreciate him as a coach. We've had a lot of success here in the past 3 years, and Brian's contributed a lot to that. But like I said, it's now about bringing in fresh ideas, some different thoughts than what a lot of the guys. Sometimes when you're with a group of guys, like we've been together for 3 years, that group of guys. But in addition to that, it was a couple of the other guys that I've been with for multiple years as well. And so we just wanted to bring in some fresh ideas, and that's where we are with that.
With those fresh ideas, Nick, how willing are you to change some of the structure of your offense if you see fit?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you're saying, exactly what we're talking about. So, it's just about putting the players in the best positions to succeed, but and doing things differently at times too. But there's going to be things that whoever the new coordinator is, there's going to be things that they bring that are going to be fresh ideas for us to help our players grow and help our players play at the top level. And there's been some things that we've done really well on offense too in the past that that you'll mesh in some of that together as well. I think with some of the success that we've had these last 3 years and the things that our guys do well. And so I'm excited about that. The new ideas meshing with some of the old ideas. We'll see how that continues to go as we go through our off-season process and where we land with that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when you get to me, we got a little bit stale on offense by the end, at the end of the year, and these ideas and this new person coming in is meant to take away the staleness and add the value of what they're adding to the offense.
Nick, just for clarification though, it'll be your scheme and you'll have final authority on what is run.
Yeah, it's our scheme. It will be our scheme of what we're doing, and so again, I don't know exactly what that will look like yet. Right, we're bringing in a guy to bring in new ideas, to do the things that he's done in the past. We're going through an extensive search to get that right person. But it'd be crazy not to add some of the things that we've done in the past here as well. I don't know if it's going to be 95% this, 90. We're not there yet, right? We're working on getting the best guy in here for the job, and a guy who has a vision, a guy who's going to call the plays, a guy who's going to be able to coach the quarterback in the same sense there. So it's just about getting the right guy, and then we'll decide where that goes. But I'm hiring him to do a job and to be in charge of the offense.
Nick, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, what are you looking for in your new defensive coordinator? Are you looking for somebody potentially to be a little bit more aggressive, or are you still married to, like, to say, the Vic Fangio type scheme that you guys used a couple of years?
Yeah, we're looking for the guy who's best fits who is the best person for the job, right? And that can be, there's many different systems that work. There's many different systems that work well. And we're looking for the guy who's going to be best for the job, that can utilize the skills that our players have, so they can play at their highest level. And so a lot of good candidates there as well. And that's what we're going through right now. As we speak.
Nick, if the offensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the offense and the defensive coordinator is going to be in charge of the defense, what is your role going to be?
The head coach of the football team.
What does that entail? How does it change?
Yeah, I guess it'd be this very similar to what's going on right now. Does that mean I'll sit more into defensive meetings at times? Maybe. Right? Instead of always being in an offensive meeting, maybe I go to a defensive meeting here and there. But my job is to be the head coach of the team, not the head coach of the offense, not the head coach of the defense, not the head coach of the special teams, but be the head coach of the football team. And so that's building the culture. That's making sure the culture's, working, with our 5 core values, are taking every day at a time. Like, we're not coming up with new core values. We may shuffle of where the things are that are important, and the most important, but that's diving into that, building the culture, having a relationship with the guys on the football team, because I know when I have that connection with the guys on the football team, that's when things are, that's when the culture is working, and working at high level, and then that's where our connection with the players and then their connection with each other works well too.
How did your
Let me answer a question. Let me take one.
Howie, just from a personnel standpoint on defense, where are you as far as how far from being able to field the kind of defense you guys want to field?
Yeah, I think, Ruben, when I think about the contributions I can make to help this team, I know that when I'm doing my best, and I have my best seasons, this team has a chance to have its best seasons. And so, I hold myself to a very high standard. I think we have a lot of good young players on this team. I think we have the ability to go out and continue to add to that. I'm very excited about the core that we have on offense going forward, obviously. And so in terms of that, our goal every year is to field the best possible team. And, I go back to last year on the Tuesday after we lost the Super Bowl, and Nick walked into my office and he said, "How you doing?" And I said to him, I think the thing that I'm most upset about is how many good people we're going to lose, on and off the field. And so I knew what was coming. I knew the schedule was going to be harder. I knew that, it was probably easier to get the offense to a place quicker than it was the defense. And, we never want to be just kind of in the middle of the pack in both, And so I feel like a lot of the things that we try to do last off season was kind of try to keep our priorities intact about how we like to build the team. We could talk about that and some of the decisions we make. And, I accept responsibility for whatever we got to do to make sure that when the season falls short of not playing this week and beyond, I'm certainly responsible for that as well.
How is the defensive line in particular? What do you attribute their underperformance relative to the investment to? And is there anything about the way that the season played out that has sort of changed your roster building philosophy?
Yeah, I think you don't want I feel like we've had a long history of success here, building the team a certain way, and I think maybe there's some preconceived notions that we're just at the linebacker position, that we don't care who we play at linebacker, and again, our 2 Super Bowl teams over the last 6 years, the linebacker play was good, from those guys, and I think if anything, it's my belief in the players that we have, the young players that we have. I have a lot of belief, and I know Coach does as well, in Nakobe Dean, and so I believe in the player, I believe in the person. We lost 2 linebackers at that spot, 2 good players from our Super Bowl team. And we had Nakobe wait in the wings. We drafted him for that role. Obviously, it didn't work out perfectly for him this year. That doesn't change the belief we have in the player. And then, we felt like we'd have the ability to get an off-ball linebacker, a will linebacker who can run and hit, And honestly, when you watch the tape, Zach Cunningham had a good year. He really did, and he had a mentality that we liked from that position. Of course, we missed some of the guys that left as free agents, missed some of the guys on and off the field that we had strong relationships with.
Howie, what was your involvement in the process that led to Sean Desai's demotion?
Coach comes to me and tells me kind of what he's thinking. No different than when he decided to give Shane the play calling duty, and he said, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do." I trust him with the coaching staff. That's his responsibility, just like he trusts me with my front office staff, and that's how we're structured here. That's how the relationship works. And I always want to be a supporter for him and a resource. So if he needs me to do something, if he asks me a question, if he asks me an opinion, in a situation like this, he had made up his mind, he had made a decision, and I'm going to support him.
If you could go back and do that again, would you do it the same way, would you replace Sean with Matt again? And I guess, whether you would or not, what did you learn from replacing a coordinator, into, I don't know if it was December or not yet, but when, 13 games into the season? Yeah,
obviously, I understand that anything that I do, make any decision that I make, if it doesn't work out, you can look at it and second guess it. So we are right now. At the time I made that decision, like I've told you guys, I made that decision because I thought it was the best decision that for the team. And, obviously we all fell short at the end, at those last 6 weeks of the season, right? All of us did. And so, I say, obviously Matt was in a tough situation, because you can't completely change, the defense, right? And so he was, trying to, make some things happen with, quite frankly, things that weren't his defense. So I know I put Matt in a tough spot. I know I put Sean in a tough spot, obviously. But at the time that I did that, I did it because I thought it was the best decision for the football team. And there's a lot of decisions I have to make like that, whether I go for it on fourth down in certain situations, what our philosophy is in a 4-minute drive at the end of a game. And trust me, every time we do something like that and it doesn't work, I think to myself, what was the best thing? And I can only come back to that answer to you right now, is that, and forevermore, that at the time when I did it because I thought it was the best thing for the defense and best thing for the team.
Last year you talked about the vision that you had for the defense, things that you were convicted in, philosophically. I guess, has that shifted as you start this search?
No, I mean, you're always growing as a coach, right? So there's some things that, year in, year out, players that you have, different scenarios you go through, can lead to where your visions are and your philosophies are. But, those things are in constant they're evolving at all times. And so are there things that I still believe in, even going through a difficult stretch here like we did? Of course, right? And the offense, defense, special teams, how to build, how to lead the team. There's a ton of those things, but I don't think there's any growth unless you look at some things and be critical on yourself and say, okay, well, this was my philosophy here, or this was a belief here, and this didn't work out. And sometimes the answer, you look at those things, and sometimes the answer is, no, I still believe in this. And sometimes the answer is, maybe I need to make a adjustment here with that. And so that's the process of just going through it and trying to get better. And so, of course, there's things that I'll be adjusting, but there's still things that there's probably more. You don't just take just a 6-week stretch and say, boom, I'm scratching this entire philosophy. You look at it as a whole. You ask yourself, you drag yourself through the mud of the bad stuff that you've went through, and you say, do I need to to make adjustments? And yet the answer is yes a lot of times, and then the answer is no, this is the way it needs to be, and we just got to do it better or coach it better or whatever it is.
Nick, do you think with the staleness of the offense, what are the things that you're finding yourself open to changing? And you maintain a lot of your staff to do a lot of the same things. So how is it?
Every conversation that we're having is about how we can move forward together. And I think the important thing for us to look at is before the stretch, which was a difficult stretch, not diminishing the 1-6 stretch at the end. We were 26-5 over the last 31 games. I mean, that's 4 times the amount of games that we played over this stretch. That is hard to do in the National Football League. That is hard to find a head coach in this league who has that record of success. I think we were 33-11 up until that point with Nick. We made the playoffs 3 straight years. Again, not okay finishing 1-6, so I'm not sitting up here saying that, but it is hard to find somebody who can do those sort of things. And I think as we go forward, doing this together in a way that continues to get the best possible people we can on and off the field. For me, that's my job to try to make sure that we have that on the field, and my group is as strong as we possibly can get, and I know Nick's committed to that in his group.
Nick, when you look at
It was business as usual of how we go about an end-of-year meeting. Obviously, what my thought is there, and so it was just normal, Zach. It wasn't anything different than it's been the last 3 years. Now, in my mind, you better believe I'm thinking, how do I reprove myself, right? I was a young coach that Mr. Laurie and Howie and this organization trusted to give the job to. I had to prove myself that, this guy can lead, the organization like they asked me to, and I had to prove myself from then. And I think that, you asked me that question, did I have to sell my vision? No, because again, it was business as usual. But you better believe that I'm thinking after that 1-6 finish, after starting the way we started and doing the things that we've done in the past, that I'm thinking I'm going to prove them right again. And we're going to prove them right. We got to reprove ourselves. We got to go prove it again. And so that's how I feel right now. That's how I'm attacking this off season. That's how I'm attacking this upcoming season as we get ready for it. Just hungry to be